single tournament. They're still going to come out for a big event such as this.
Oh.
And it looks like we are getting ready.
Okay, I'm glad we have the name tags on for this one because, oh man, it would be impossible to
yeah,
tell
it would be a
otherwise.
little bit difficult now, wouldn't it, Dara? But we are seeing we're seeing Little Fox on the Koji crossover and Diakou on the Koji crossover.
I swear I've seen another Brawlhalla player go by the tag Little Fox. This is Little Flower that we have ahead of us. And already looking to anti these bow combos, looking solid, pristine, catching that recovery. And ooh, the classic, you know, bow anti, you want to go through that dash and sig? I respect it.
Could have been big there off stage, and actually that D-Sig is not going to be enough range for Diakou to touch. I feel like even they were probably holding right to try and go towards the wall, but maybe the end lag on that, or not maybe, apparently the end lag on that was just too long for them to be able to get back.
Could be finding that Sailor tries to come in with that side light, doesn't actually find that opening. Okay, Little Flower, good dodge, makes it back onto the stage right now. It just seems like Little Flower is a little bit more confident in some of these bow follow-ups.
For sure, and that is going to secure them that small but definitely meaningful lead, and it looks like Diakou is ready to try and take that away from him. Unfortunately, that's going to be pretty short-lived though, as Little Flower is going to be able to pick up the next weapon. Still, we're seeing a Diakou that is definitely not scared here. We're seeing a Diakou running around the place, throwing out a lot of attacks on Sword right now. He's definitely pushing buttons.
And Diakou almost could have been losing their stock off the top so early because of that one over commitment. Neutrally backing off, eating that Sword. Sailor going to be sent off stage. This match is back and forth.
Very, very back and forth. Both of them keeping it very competitive, keeping it very even. Little Flower trying to go for that D-light. Diakou able to punish that, going to be sending him the opposite direction too. Great punish from Little Flower, trying to find this KO by now. I'm expecting either one of them to swap over to Sword. It's going to be Diakou as he's trying to weapon starve Little Flower.
Yeah. Diakou is successfully doing so until that weapon spun. As Diakou commits to the left, it will not matter. Diakou able to close that one off. Okay, tossing that weapon as high as possible. What's it going to be, bow or the Sword? It seems like Sword is the weapon of choice here. Absolutely, the Sword has been working out well for Diakou. I mean, even since the start, when they were running around the place, you know, being you know, slippery and hard to hit, throwing out aerials left to right, it's been working super well for Diakou, and it looks like they're starting to realize that as they are starting to pick up that weapon instead. They're playing really good. They're playing really tight. Only in the beige at this point, honestly. Any good Sword bow combos. I've said this before, it will just even it up at that point. But Diakou asserting the stage, going for that GCN sig. I like the idea a lot.
Diakou trying to hold their ground here, throwing a Little Flower off. Going to be coming back real quick though, taking it all the way down to orange. And Sig not going to be connecting, but still great damage. And Diakou is still definitely in control. Dare is coming out, not a lot of options left, but Diakou is able to find any kind of confirmational hit.
Oh, and waiting as long as possible on the down stick, doesn't actually find it. Little Flower, you're not going to be able to get a string started. Wow, what an opening. What a way to start off Diakou. Playing hard.
The GC sidelight into the recovery too. Great option coming out from Diakou, winning that first game. And I feel like we might be seeing a legend swap here. From which player, I'm not entirely sure. Again, I'm not sure if the Koji is maybe 100% expected coming out from Diakou. I don't feel like I've seen them on that too much. Maybe they swap now, or if they lose.
I like Diakou's sig usage. I feel like every single time that we saw, like especially with bow in hand, any end sig, it was always functional. It was always serving a very specific purpose. Daikou's follow-ups are looking really tight as well. Diakou seems comfy, especially in the Ditto.
Yeah, absolutely, especially the Ditto, doing a great job spacing around Little Flower's options. And again, Sword looking extremely confident. We are going to be running it back, exact same legends here, but this time around we're on Small Enigma, which means that we have some more verticality on the map. You have some platforms where you're able to do some cool stuff if you feel like it.
I think Sword is excellent too, especially with the amount of coverage that you get from neutral, especially how Sword likes to jump in. This is such a good place to be. Look at all the coverage. Ooh, Little Flower, you're not going up anyway, buddy. And then Diakou, appreciate the attempt, but that was pretty committal going out there for that kind of ground pound.
The thing is, every single time I see a map like this with a weapon like Sword, I also like to think, oh, just grab a D-light off the top platform and you're going to be able to get a KO off of the recovery super early. But I've come to find that that's kind of wishful thinking, because that's harder than it sounds.
I feel like this map is so unpopular. We almost never see people actually go here. Nobody really seems to be a super big fan of the tri-plat layout.
Yeah, no, in general, that has not been very popular, but apparently both of these players have no problem with it, and they are going to be rocking it. So far, though, Little Flower seems to be enjoying it a little bit more, as they are going to be getting their first lead here, orange against white, with Diakou with having one stock taken off.
And that was pretty cool. I love that the GC down, the down light into the ground pound and the neutral light as well did a hefty amount of damage. But hefty amount of damage does not mean anything if you cannot close. Charging it just in case Little Flower ended up dodging back down to the ground. That's like the second time we've seen a side sig like that. Nice!
Oh, clean! The weapon throw into the GCD like ground pound as well. That weapon throw really to tie it all together, making sure that Little Flower has no more options left, knocking him down a little bit further. Super good start. Well, not really a start, but super good comeback there from Diakou to get that stock off. Still, Little Flower has been able to build a little bit of a lead. Now it's up to Diakou to try and take that away on this sword that we know that he's been looking confident on throughout the entire set.
This is just them sort of resetting the situation, landing on the ground, and then just playing rock, paper, scissors. Am I going to overshoot? Am I going to wait? Am I going to do nothing? Am I just going to react to your next option? Okay, Diakou. Ooh, tries to cover with the side light, but you're not going to be able to whip punish all of that horizontal distance it gives you. Koji so fast. Just dashing into waiting patiently. What's going to be the option?
It's going to be a D-Light recovery, but again, with having that diagonal, you're going to need to travel a very far distance to be able to find that KO. A GC D-Light recovery is going to find the KO way earlier. Little Flower finally taking that off, but Diakou still, of course, in a small damage deficit. But this time, I want to say it's maybe a little bit smaller.
Oh yeah. Right now, Diakou's just trying to find this next opening here. And I gotta say, it's been Little Flower that's A, been taking these hits, further B, winning the majority of these interactions.
Absolutely. Sayer coming out, Diakou looking for this KO now on the offstage. The D-Light would have been absolutely massive, but unfortunately it is not going to be connecting. Little Flower doing a great job at avoiding that. Now on the bow, and I'm getting a little bit scared because Little Flower on the bow is so good at anti-airing. As soon as Diakou is above Little Flower and he has bow, yeah, I mean, Daikou's HP is melting right now.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Occupying center stage like that. Your opponent is feeling nothing but pressure. I gotta say, Little Flower is just like such a good sense of center stage, how to occupy it. But more importantly, how do you make it back on? You do not. Wow, Diakou just gonna be running out there with that side stick and finds that KO.
Absolutely. Now, still, this is probably the biggest deficit that Diakou has been in since the game started, especially considering that they are on their last stock right now. It's do or die right now, and Diakou is having a hard time. Little Flower, again, with their amazing anti-air, giving Diakou a super hard time. But as the turntables turntable, Diakou has a hard time of giving him the same medicine.
I'm going to be honest, neutral difference. Neutral difference, and especially how well Little Flower occupied center stage that entire game. I feel like every single time that Diakou was off stage, he was like, maybe I'll be able to actually get it, maybe I'll be able to attack you here. And Little Flower was just always spaced a little bit too far back. Little Flower, just look at this, it's the patience, it's that kind of waiting that has earned Little Flower so many stocks. Planting your feet at center stage, you know your own character, you know your own character's actual burst ranges and how far away you have to play back. Little Flower just with punish, one neutral, played footsies excellently.
I love that side sig, by the way. It is such an underutilized option on the unarmed kit in general. Most players in a situation like that would probably just go for the D-Light to catch them right when they are just above the above ground level. Ground pound, sorry, D-Light that and then ground pound. They are already deleted. Diakou deciding to be a little bit extra, just going for the side sig for the style points.
Yeah, just like I'm confident this will connect. I have a pretty good idea here, and you know what? It came into fruition. So, game number 3, this is elimination. Whoever loses this is completely knocked out of BCX for once.
And you can see both of these players understanding the importance of the situation they are in. Both looking extremely focused. Moving into this first game, Little Flower is going to get the first weapon. It's going to be a bow, and already this spells poorly for Diakou. That bow has been working out so well for Little Flower.
Yeah, that thing is in Daikou's nightmares at this point. Daikou's like, please, no more, no, stop occupying center stage, I'm begging you. Please stop catching my landings, finally.
Stop anti-airing me like 20 seconds in a row. I just want to play the game. You're not letting me play the game. I can push buttons, but they barely do anything.
Oh, no. Little Flower off stage, almost going to be able to secure that first stock so early into the match as well. Little Flower is playing beautifully. Diakou now going to be slapping back a bit.
Yeah. Little Flower doing a great job so far, keeping it even, and still, this is kind of, I feel like, the staple of Little Flower's gameplay. Not really going for anything kind of massive, not getting any kind of huge thing going, but just playing in neutral and always just ending up with a super small lead. And you can see it right here. Even though the lead is small, this tends to build over time, and it's built over time in favor of Little Flower every single game.
Oh yeah, backing off a little tiny bit as well. Okay, Sword in hand gets that recovery, and that is going to be the stock. Little Flower is the first one to take it, was on track from the beginning. And bow in hand, Daiku's nightmares. Oh man.
And light coming out. Actually, that was super close to connecting, but still Diakou on white here, so they can afford a couple of hits. Obviously not good. They want to take this stock out as fast as possible, get this even out. You do not want to give Little Flower any kind of opportunity to take any kind of lead here.
Oh yeah, not in the slightest. Okay, that's one neutral light, chase dodging in, occupies the space, gets up there a little bit too late, doesn't get the recovery. Not enough vertical height to be able to finish that one out. Ooh, Little Flower right now just mixing up movement. Oh, so ambiguous, so non-committal.
Ooh, Diakou is just absolutely struggling to find a KO option right now. Yep. Recovery, that is going to do it. But again, Diakou, what did Diakou need in a situation like that? He needed a D-light, he needed a ground pound, a Sair, a recovery. But all of those options, Little Flower was just 100% outspacing. The only thing Diakou could get going is like a side light, and that's not going to KO at any point.
I feel like Little Flower's game plan is simple. Dash in, dash out, wait for them to press a button. It's good, it's working. It is actually paying for itself at this point. Wow, Little Flower is such a confident lead, but then Diakou actually going to be slashing back a little tiny bit. Looks to get something going with neutral. GC side light, good coverage.
I mean, again, Little Flower has done a great job at not getting knocked out. Diakou, on the other hand, when it comes to the early stages of the stocks, it's been looking incredibly even all throughout so far, but still, Little Flower having this very small lead. Diakou trying to take it back and trying to knock him off stage, but Little Flower, again, such a good job at not letting Diakou get anything massive.
Oh yeah, just walking away so slowly. Okay, you have your opponent off stage. What is the play for Little Flower? How do you actually end up closing this? Tries to go for the wrong recovery.
DLI recovery, not going to find a knockout just yet. Incredibly close though. I feel like another one should definitely do it. Looking for anything here. Oh, baited him out with the Sair, only to later use the end light. Very well done by Diakou.
Yeah, you just have to eat that weapon toss at that point. Diakou is making a comeback slowly, just asserting themselves in the neutral, getting a little bit more confident moving around the stage. Neutral does not KO yet, but the next hit will.
It definitely should, and still, as you mentioned, first time now we have seen Diakou in a lead like this. Are they going to be able to keep it going? Not for long. Still, it is a small lead, and it is the most important stock of their tournament to this point. Having that small lead can do a lot for you, but Little Flower could be able to take that down very quickly.
Especially with bow in hand, just spacing at mid-range. The weapon toss was amazing for Diakou. That was right there. They got exactly what they needed with bow in hand. Tries to go all the way out there. Diakou is approaching. Diakou is turning up the gas. Wants to finish this game now.
Absolutely. Still, though, both of the players playing quite patiently. Little Flower, oh no, I see that. I see that 1-2 attacks of anti-air, and I was getting completely ready for it to be Little Flower time. But no, Diakou able to get out of that, still sustaining their very small lead. Little Flower is able to even it out, though. Diakou desperately trying to knock Little Flower off stage so he can get something big, but Little Flower is not letting it happen.
Diakou going to be finally picking up Sword. It is a Sword Ditto at this point. Okay, beautiful stuff. Going to be setting up the edge guard. Diakou, can you execute? Can you follow up on this? Just being patient. Gets up there. One neutral. That's not going to be able to do it.
Oh, these aerials are absolutely massive. I see them. They're so far up. They're so close to knocking out, but not just yet. Still, Diakou with an incredibly small lead. If he can get something off stage here, that could be the end of the set. He's looking for something, but Little Flower with the GCD like great option, but Diakou is able to come back with the Sair, and that is going to be 2-1 in the set with Diakou advancing, and unfortunately Little Flower getting knocked out of the tournament.
Diakou clutched that one up. Diakou just really tightened down a lot of the spacing, maybe stopped whiffing as much in front of Little Flower's face, and just sort of minimized the amount of potential openings.
That D-Sig. I feel like that was so close to touching. Diakou must have face palmed after a D-Sig like that.
Oh, for sure. So that means Diakou is going to be moving on throughout the tournament, as mentioned before. This is the end of Little Flower's run as we were deep into elimination. Once again, congratulations for being able to make it this far into BCX. Ridiculously, stupidly, absurdly stacked event. But yeah, that's going to be it for Little Flower.
I mean, I'm not sure. This is definitely not the best placement they have had, but you need to keep in mind that during an event like BCX, I believe you get more PR points. So this is absolutely huge for Little Flower. So congratulations again to them and for their placement, and congratulations for Diakou for advancing later into the bracket.
And I think with that being said, we actually have one more set coming up. Let's just quickly check the schedule to be able to get a good refresher on that. It's actually